Y'all, this article had me in my bag when I first started reading it. I'm like, I gotta tell y'all about this. So, y'all know how last year they featured Martell on the cover of Upscale magazine. And, they titled it The Survivor. Love and marriage reality TV star Martell Haltz talks about co parenting, finding love again, and owning his mistakes. And people was upset about that because they felt like, wow, why is someone that did X, Y, and Z to his wife get a platform, get to be put on the public display as if he's like, Mother Teresa, the whole time he cheated on his wife and had a baby outside of, their marriage. And as I was reading this story, it had got me in my bag and my feelings. But then a little bit towards the end, I'm like, okay. But then again, I don't know. Maybe I was being emotionally manipulated because, they use the kids angle. Sin loves the kids. So y'all let me know, what y'all think. What really triggered me was the interviewer saying that Martell looked amazing. I felt like that was really unnecessary to say, being as though, like, okay, and why that's not needed in this story. And to me, it started feeling like, all right, this is a narrative that we're going to produce to make him out in a good light, instead of being neutral, because that's what I feel. Because this is a magazine, you thinking that there's a level of journalism integrity that goes along with it. So, they're not going to be biased. They're literally just going to state the facts. But this was kind of written as an editorial, and I'll tell you guys why. I went to school for journalism, so I know a little something, even though I'm sitting up here blogging and talking to you guys, giving my opinion. I do know there's a difference between news stories and editorials. So, with news stories, you literally are supposed to state the facts. You don't put any of your razzle dazzle or your opinion in it. And that's literally what this article was giving me by saying he looks good. Oh, you're starting out saying you look amazing. Like, what is this? This isn't the shade room. This is a magazine. So I feel as though, I don't know. I just was expecting neutral. You don't have to comment or anything about how the person looks that you're interviewing. So that kind of already threw me off for a loop. And it made me feel like, why are we treating Martell like he's the victim? Like he got cheated on. I could see the writer saying that about Melody, perhaps, and she was the one that was done wrong in a situation. So if she looks good, it's kind of like, oh, wow, I can see you commenting on that. But why are we commenting on Martell's looks, being as though he's the one that caused the demise of his relationship? You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't know. But, I was just thinking, if Martell did look a mess, it's because of the divorce that he brought on himself because of the decisions he made in breaking the vows. So, like I said, it was just a wow moment to me. And it was almost like giving him a pass or like, why should he not look good? He the one that didn't like cry because his wife was cheating and have an outside baby. He just cried because his wife, or if he did cry, he's upset that his wife left him based off of his toxic actions. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know why the writer started off saying that, and it just kind of irked me and set the wrong turn, like the wrong tune for this article. So another part that irked me too, and it goes along with what I'm saying, is when he said, when the interviewer wrote, "You have an addition to the family since your divorce too. Knox is gorgeous. He strongly resembles all the rest of your children." So there you go, stating your opinion, saying that Knox looks just like the rest of the kids, and saying how the child is gorgeous isn't necessary. The proper thing to say as a journalist is, for example, "So, Martell, you have an addition to your family. Since the divorce, what's it like adjusting to having or raising 5 kids instead of 4?" Something like that. When you start putting like adjectives and descriptions, it is no longer journalism, and like I said, it's more so editorializing. Like you're putting your own narrative on there, and that's not what we came for. We want to know the facts, not what you as the interviewer decides to see. We want to just know like the what is it? The dry and dirty version of it. Is that how the saying goes? I don't know, but y'all know what I mean. So, like I said, when I was reading the article, like things like this made me believe that this was more of a redemption story. Like they were writing it from a redemption narrative. Like where, whoever his what is it? PR person, she doing or he or is doing a good job. Like they are really working to make their client, look good. And I can't blame them because that's what you hire those people for. Your publicists and all that other stuff. They help, spin the narrative for you. So that's how come you be seeing like people that had like those shady past, now they doing volunteer works and they make sure the paparazzi is taking pictures of that. So shout out to this person because they are working overtime to make him sound like a real good person. And not to say he's not, you know what I'm trying to say, but I was just like, wow. I really thought that as, like I said, a news publication, they would be more neutral. And I didn't get a neutral feeling. I'm just being honest. The article also, the interview also talked about how Martell mentioned how he introduced Knox to, his 4 kids with Melody. And in that instance, it kind of, made me sad. It kind of almost brought tears to my eyes because not only did Melody not deserve what happened to her, but neither did the kids. Like when I think about that, when I think about the fact that he had to introduce a child to his 4 kids, and kids are smart. They're probably like, I don't remember mommy being pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, so just that alone kind of made my heart break for them. Like, I feel like that's not something that the kids deserve to like experience and go through. Like sometimes it really hit me. Like, I think men just think that they're hurting their wife or whatever. But if you have kids with your wife or whoever you're with, the backlash also hits the people around you, the kids that y'all created. And I knew that mentally, but it just literally went to my heart once I realized like that they had to be introduced to a little brother that they probably didn't even know existed. And like in one instance, Martell talks about how he didn't talk to the kids about what was going on between like, him and Melody, because he wanted them to stay kids. But at the same time, introducing them to like a kid that or a sibling that you didn't have with their mom is also a very adult thing to deal with as kids, and like I said, this whole time mostly my mind was going towards Melody or whatever. But then just reading how they had to be introduced to the kid, it and no shade to the kid, like I hope I'm not coming across that way, but yeah, that just kind of really made me sad. I did like this one part of the article or whatever. The interviewer asks, how was it dating now that he has been divorced? And Martell did mention that now that he's dating, he feels like dating is weird to him. And he realizes that what he had with Melody was good. And the things that he complained about, he really didn't have to. And to me, hearing that was like a lesson to us all. Like I took something from that in particular. Because, as humans, we do that. We complain about the blessings. Because a lot of times as humans, we do that. We don't realize that the blessing may come with a little discomfort here and there from time to time. That may happen. But I think that it helps to remember that no matter what we have, it'll never be perfect. Whether it's a spouse, a house, a car, a career, your kids, your dog, your potato, whatever it may be. Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rat, you name it. It's going to come with some stuff. I feel like, you have to be happy and content with what God blessed you with or what he gave you, and look for ways to be grateful and thankful for it constantly, But also, I feel like when people and things and situations fall short, it's because it's to help us to realize like nothing in this world, in this life will be able to make us feel 100%, but God. You know what I mean? He is our source that we can rely on, that we know will always come through, will always have the best for us, will never let us down. Like sometimes we put God expectations on like man-made things, on or people that are flawed. Like, we're all flawed. So you cannot expect people to, I don't know, always be the best version. Even the best person is gonna have some days where they like just not feeling it and they may snap, but they're still good people. But if you don't realize like people aren't God and puppets, you're gonna put like God expectations on people, your career, things like that. And it does not, it can't hold that weight. I cannot hold the weight of your God-sized expectations. Only God can do that. So I feel like that's how come, like in life, we be grateful for things, but like sometimes things may mess up. Like your car, you be so grateful for your car, but your car gonna mess up. But it just kind of helps you to realize, like, okay, in this life, things are going to fail. They may not show up. They may not be exactly where I want them to be when I expect it. But you know what I mean? You keep on getting up and keep being happy and things like that. So I appreciate Martell sharing that part, how he was complaining about things that he realized now he really didn't have to complain about. And see, here's another thing I noticed as well from the article with Martell. Now, I could be reaching, but this whole I don't care if I'm going to make $15 or $20 million statement, it's just rubbing me the wrong way. I feel like Martell is saying this and kind of throwing shots at the fact that it's Melody that's kind of making this kind of money and bring this money in. Now, I'm not quite sure. I'm not really following her bag or watching her pockets. But to me, it seems as though like Melody is really doing good financially. And I feel as though that Martell is only saying this because it's a woman. If the roles were reversed, nobody would be even saying anything or batting an eye. So many businessmen, so many tycoons, so many men go out and get it, and they miss a lot of time with their kids as well. And I'm not saying that's what's happening in Melody's case, but I'm just saying how things aren't equal. Like, cause trust me, cause he would be making an excuse if he was the one that was making that kind of money, bringing in that kind of money. You know what? Although that I'm making this money and I'm bringing this money for my kids, it's for them, it's for their future. Although I may not be able to see them all the time, I'm trying to do my best to still be there when I can. You know what I mean? If it was him that was getting to the bag in the way that Melody is. So I feel like all this is cap. He better cry me a river, and I'm not even trying to hear it. But like I said, he talked about being a dad to his kids and things like that kind of touched my heart. So like I said, I could be kind of a softie or, maybe that was the whole point of this article. Because, people know how to market things. Like, clearly, if they only made the article about him, then it's easy to throw like shade. But because he put the kids in it and talking about writing books with his kids, it kind of make you see his human side. See how they try to manipulate me? Oh my gosh, I don't want to be manipulated. I'm trying to be strong, y'all. But that was a part that I took into consideration when they wrote this article. But overall, I did feel as though this article was to help put Martell in a better light. And not to say he has to pay for his sins forever, or that he owes the public anything. But like, overall, I do notice that men, for the most part, do get a pass when they do things like this. Even when women don't do half as much, it's just like, everybody's ready to throw stones. And not to say Martell didn't receive backlash, but you see how quick everybody just came to rally up, even women, rally behind him and support him. Not to say he don't deserve the support, but I just find that interesting. That's all. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Have you guys read this article? How do you feel? I know y'all probably did. I know y'all. You're probably like, I'm not supporting nothing that he do. But based off of what I shared with you guys, am I tripping? What are your thoughts? Other than that, I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.
Synquette, man, the girl was heaven sent. Synquette, man, the girl was heaven sent.